A few days ago, the Venezuelan government and China signed major trade agreements. Is this a nothing burger or there is some substance behind it? Today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
So just a few days ago, the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, visited China. They held a summit with the Chinese government and President Xi Jinping from China, and they held the 17th China-Venezuela High-Level Commission Summit. So according to the local news in Venezuela, this visit to China and the agreements signed, they are nothing more than a nothing burger. So those agreements are just a nothing burger. However, if that's the case, it's just a nothing burger or there is something on it. So first, Maduro visited Shenzhen, that is one of the major economic hubs of China, and then he visited Beijing when he held the summit with Xi Jinping. Apparently, Maduro is very impressed of how the Chinese economy transformed on just a few decades ago, and he wants to try to do the same within Venezuela. And of course, due to the track record of Maduro, and nobody believes him. However, it's something that is impossible? No. Is improbable? Well, most likely. Now, on the past 5 years, the diplomatic relationship between China and Venezuela deteriorated. It's not like they completely broke diplomatic relationship, just that China wasn't as close to the Venezuelan government, especially with Maduro, mostly because China, and this is allegedly, they think that the Venezuelan government, they're very incompetent in order to take care of business. Remember, China has invested heavily on Venezuela since the mid-2000s when Hugo Chavez was the president of Venezuela. They invested over 65 billion US dollars, of course, in form of debt. And right now, Venezuela is still due to pay 15 billion US dollars of outstanding debt plus their to interest. So in the past 5 years, like I said, China has been pushing a little bit away from Venezuela. However, on that time frame, Venezuela is also being fully supported by Russia, Turkey, and Iran. So on this particular visit to China, Maduro and the Chinese government, they signed several economic agreements and MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding. So in total, they signed 31 agreements on what they call the 2030 Development Plan. They created 7 joint commissions, 31 lines of work that includes oil, gas, industry, mining, agriculture, infrastructure, communications, and tourism. The first one is the MOU of Economic Development that includes technology, macroeconomics, industrial development, infrastructure, green economy, and digital economy. The second MOU is just flat out digital economy. Number 3 is with the Chinese International Development Corporation. Number 4 is for geological survey. The number 5 is on healthcare. Number 6 is on housing, construction. Number 7 on mining. Number 8 on national electric system. Talking about the national electric system that has been decimated on the past few decades during the Chavismo administration. Number 9 is, in this particular one, an agreement on airspace that includes, according to the words of Maduro himself, that he wants to see the first Venezuelan individual stepping on the moon. And number 10, this is my favorite and the most likely to come to fruition, is an agreement on airspace routes that will include a direct flight between Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, and Beijing, the capital of China, of course. Now, all of these agreements and these talks are a nothing burger or there is something into it. Well, my particular opinion is it's not a nothing burger, but it's not as massive as you might think. Chinese people, especially Chinese government, is being effective taking business, taking care of business, and also in Venezuela, some things they have done, they have invested. However, they didn't see the expected results. But still, I expect some things are gonna go through all of these major agreements and MOUs. Now, we are going to see some results if you live in Venezuela. Well, maybe not as much, but yes, I think some results are gonna happen if Maduro and the Chavismo stay in power on the next decade. And what will end up happening in these cases, there is a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of incompetence that happens regarding the government of Venezuela. I'm talking the middle, second and tier. I'm talking the second and tier people working on the government. There is a lot of incompetence over there, but still some things should happen. Now, the most significant take that I can, of course, conclude of this thing is that they reestablish some diplomatic relationship. Remember, China has affairs in Venezuela, has investment, also has debt. That Venezuela is been serving this debt. They serve it straightly with crude oil production and exportation towards China. And so they are being serving this debt. So it's not like they defaulted, but they're not paying at the expected rate from the Chinese. But on the diplomatic side, I think that it indicates that this relationship is trying to gain some traction again after 5 years of just radio silence. And the major take regarding geopolitics is that, remember that the Maduro government, the Chavismo government, the Venezuelan government is making some deals with the U.S. government. Remember, U.S. has sanctions against Venezuelan individuals and since 2019 with the Venezuelan oil industry. Now, those sanctions has been loosened up a little bit by the Biden administration. So, making these agreements with China puts a little bit more pressure to the White House and the U.S. government in order to start reducing and loosening up these sanctions a little bit further. Also, China, like I said before, invested a lot on Venezuela without the expected results. So the last question is Maduro going towards a Chinese economic model? We already did a video just a few weeks ago on this particular subject, and the answer is apparently yes. Maduro is discussing and applying stuff like special economic zones, like, of course, having this kind of a free market economy. Well, that's an overstatement at this moment, but maintaining the political power. So, and just with this last visit, Maduro was actually very impressed. He spoke a lot about how the city of Shenzhen, one of the major special economic zones in China, looks like, and he would like to see something similar in Venezuela. Now, I want to read your comments, what you think about the Maduro's visit to China. You think Venezuela is going to end up like China, or it's just a nothing burger and will be just the same? I cannot wait to read your comments.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again, and have a nice day.